Okay, here I am again. Uh, I'm not going to put hashtag survivor stories on this one. Not that I have a problem with it. I still think it's a good idea, but I did that and I told my story, and I feel like there's a lot that I've left out. That the reason that I am a survivor is because of my white grandmother. She's the one that told me of my line to the Lakota Sioux. My Lakota grandmother announced it on her 100th birthday party. Uh, my whole life as I was younger, my grandmother, paternal grandmother, has been protecting me with prayer. She was an English teacher and a drama teacher in South Dakota, and her husband, my grandfather, paternal grandfather, was the principal of that high school. Uh, my father was a wild child, and I have one of those. I have 4 children, but I have one that was definitely more work for sure. Uh, but I was the youngest of 5, which is 4 girls and 1 brother. Now, on my stepfather had 3 sons, so there was 8 of us, and I was the youngest of 8. There was a brother, a stepbrother that was close to my age. He was, I think, a year older than me. And we were supposed to walk home from school that day in Escondido. And we walked home together every day. And he wanted to play with his friends. So I got tired of that and said, I'm walking home. And he let me go. That's when the guy pulled over his truck to the side of the road, walked across the street, grabbed me by the hand, put me in his truck, and drove into Felicita Park and went behind Felicita Park. That was the kidnapping, so-called kidnapping. But I don't know if this was before or after. There was a time where we had 27 cats. And it just got out of hand. We had some female cats, and they got pregnant, and they all had kittens at the same time. And there was a bunch of kittens, and there was a bunch of cats. And I remember the number 27. So I think somebody counted them, and we had 27 cats. Well, I was sick a lot because I was allergic to cigarettes, and I lived in a smoker's household. So I had asthma, ear infections, all kinds of problems, and getting sick all the time. And I was home sick from school, or it was the time I swallowed a nickel at prayer. Every night we would pray, Our Father who art in heaven, every night. So it was kind of hard for me to correlate my stepfather with the abuse, but I saw his face. But I was telling you about the kittens. All the kittens were gone one day, and I remember now what had happened. And I was told to go underneath in the laundry room. There was like a little shelf where a bunch of kittens were under there, where the mother had them under there, and I was told to go and get them. And I had a short little dress on, and as I bent over to reach underneath, somebody lifted my dress and assaulted me, but I went along with it. I was probably 5 or 6, or maybe 7. I couldn't tell you the exact age. I know I was a child, and I blocked it out for many years. So I saw my stepfather's face, but I believe he stepped in and looked into the laundry room and then stepped back out and saw what he was doing and stepped out. So I don't know who this man was, or my stepfather was an engineer at General Electric. So I'm sure that he had affiliations. Well, I believe that the Freemasons that my father and grandfather were in, paternal side, were good. They were fighting evil. What it started out being. So it was soon after that incident. Oh, and the kittens. I was getting the kittens out, and he killed a kitten. And then I was upset, obviously, but I don't remember crying or anything. And I think that's why they chose me. They tried to get me to go on the dark side with my supernatural powers, but they were given to me by God. And I have no control over them. I see things or I don't. It's up to God, not me. But he tried to get me to kill the next kitten. He said, get the next kitten. I got the next kitten. He tried to get me to kill it, and I would not kill it. And he hit me in the face, and I still would not kill it. I don't know how much more went on. I blocked out from there, but I remember I would not submit to hurting another child or hurting an animal or anything of that nature. And that's one thing that I still hold true. And if I see it happening, I will do anything in my power to stop it. And my stepfather must have had a really good reason, probably to save my life, that he walked out and allowed it to happen that day. It wasn't long after that us three little girls went to South Dakota. I don't know where my older brother and my older blood sister went, but they weren't with us at my paternal grandmother's house. So I believe my grandmother was the one that orchestrated this all. She found out about my kidnapping. She found out about this other rape and knew that it was going on and knew that what it was, exactly what it was, and she put an end to it. And this is a woman, a praying woman, married to a Freemason. So do you think that they're all in there doing satanic worship and stuff? She removed me. So we went back and we were living in San Marcos. The attacks began. And I would see the spirits, the evil and the good. And not so much the good at this point, it was the evil. And they were trying to get me there. I went to Disneyland, and when I came back, I was having nightmares of statues coming alive and all kind. I don't have nightmares. And so I was casting them out because of what the angel told me when I believe I died when I had my tonsils taken out. So I refused them, but my aunt was there. She's a witch. She reads tarot cards. She does astrology. She does numerology. She does it all. I believe she was my handler. I believe that she was Mom's handler. I don't think that my mom was ritually abused like this because she was much older than my mother, but there had to have been somebody that began that. And that's the Lakota side. But not all Lakotas are witches. But I believe that's when Tia, is what we called her, was living with us. And that's when I'd see door handles move. I'd be looking at a picture frame on a shelf and it would fall over. I didn't know whether I did it or she was summoning demons to do it. But I prayed to God and I asked him to take away the seeing of the spirits. And that's when he did it. It was in San Marcos that I didn't want to see them anymore. And I got this feeling that came over me, and it wasn't a voice, it was almost like my own mind telling me, but it was God speaking to me. I've learned to listen to his voice, that still small voice that said, I will only let you see them when I need you to. And that's okay with me, because I have seen them. My children will attest to you that if I tell them to get home now, or something's going on, they come home. They don't question it anymore. They used to, oh, Mom, we're having fun. Nah, yeah. And now they, Mom says come home. It's something's going on. We don't always find out what it is, but they come home, they listen. Sometimes we do. But I just want to say that I love y'all, and this is a spiritual war. There's a lot more to say about my story, but it was my grandmother who was the daughters of the Revolution, and my grandfather was a Freemason. So those are not the Freemasons we know of today. She was rescuing me. Thank God for her. But they got in other ways. They got in through high school with, I was drowning my memories in alcohol and drugs. Not drugs. I smoked a lot of weed. So I guess that's a drug, yeah. But I tried a couple of other things, but I was never addicted to any kind of amphetamine. They just, do not like the way they make me feel. Pain pills that make me worse hangover than alcohol. But now the alcohol's gone, everything's gone. Thank you, Father, in Jesus' name. And I'm here to tell my truth, to tell y'all that there's hope. Even what was meant for evil, God will turn into good. Thank you. Have a blessed day.